Hello everyone, this is going to be a quick intro to Rig. It allows you to build modular and scalable LLM applications in Rust. It's built by Playgrounds, it's open source, you've got the code on GitHub, there's some really good examples. We're going to be looking at a RAG system, so um, correction, I'm going to look at the tools. That's the RAG system, so retrieval augmented generation. That's using an in-memory vector store. I've also looked at using Quadrant, which is possible. Yet to complete that, so yeah, that may or may not be coming along soon. So Rust power performance, all the good Rust stuff, and yeah, without further ado, let's look at my example. And just go to Rig Tools. I may as well just run it, and then we'll talk about it after. That's usually a fairly good way to go about things. So it's building it. I've set my EMV and I've asked it, is 192.168.1.1 in 192.168.0.0./25? This is a sort of a network engineer thing that you wouldn't otherwise know about. I just happen to have done Cisco CCNA, CCNP. So that is not in 1.1. So that will not go into that /25. That subnet, because you'd be having a mask of 255.255.255.128. So in subnet is false, valid equals true. So all of that came from, that's the code. We'll do env. I need to refactor the code really because it's all in main. Actually, I just run the test as well. Cargo. I've started being a bit more proactive with doing my tests, especially with AI, because it's going to save you tokens if you can just test your functions without having to run the actual code. A lot of code here. This is based on the rig.rs maths, or the adder example. Adder as in add numbers, not the snake. And you've got this error, which is handling invalid IP, invalid subnet. You've got a struct, which is what holds it all together. So you've got a struct and enum, and then you've got an import for IP tool. So you're handling the args, the error, and then you've got the tool. The tool has got a name which is a constant, saves you all the lifetime troubles. Then we're using some types, or we're using type aliases. There, type error equals IP tool error, tool args. Output is JSON value. JSON value is not quite as strict, so you may or may not want to use that in, you may not always want to be using value in other code projects and so on. So we do a tool definition. You've got name, description, and parameters. It's fairly, not all that's in natural language, so it's sort of self-explanatory, isn't it? Call, at the moment, call is it's not called from what I've written, it's called behind the scenes, and also it's called by the test. So all that you can kind of skip over if you want. Then there's the function, which is IP and subnet, and that's the function that the tool needs to, that's the function which we want our tool to use. And one of the concerns quite often is actually, is my tool, I had this with LangChain. I was thinking, well, is ChatGPT actually doing the arithmetic? Because with LangChain, you can use tools and ask the tool to do the arithmetic, much like this. But when I was testing it, I actually noticed that some of the maths was wrong, some of the calculations were inaccurate, floating point numbers, etc. And then it transpired that I wasn't actually calling the tool correctly. So the reason I know the tool is being called correctly is because of the response, which was that I would only have got that from the tool. The ChatGPT or the OpenAI large language model would not. I think it's GPT-4 we're using here. although we're using um, some of the examples for rig use um, the really old model, which is that's not here. But if we go to to the text embedding, add a 002. There's some great examples here, and what I like about this is that some of the examples are actually beyond kind of your typical starter examples. So um, that's not taking anywhere. Learn rig, here we go. So then we go official examples, and there's one which actually does is kind of, I don't think it books the flights for you, but it uses a rapid API key to go and search for flights. There's the one that I was talking about with the quadrant. So rig, there's a quadrant, a rig dash quadrant crate which you can use. So a lot of these examples are just using sort of word definition. It's just using hash map or a struct for the input. So the other thing I'll quickly point out, I'll wrap this video up here because it's kind of just an intro. I'll show you more in due course. But agent with loaders. So the loader is a very good, useful thing to use, and it will load your documents. It will load. It was originally designed for PDFs to load lots of PDFs and parse them and make sense of them. But yeah, so this is my example. If you come to RGGH and look at my repos, you'll find it. Agent plus tools with open. That's the code that I just demonstrated. You will need to set your OpenAI key. I set mine in dot ZSHRC because I use ZSH shell. If you use Bash, then set it in your Bash RC. It's a lot easier than messing around with .env files everywhere in each project. Because if you build many projects, you're going to have to be setting up your env file in each of those projects. Whereas if you set it as environment variable in your test machine, then happy days, you're off to the races without having to do that each time. So and then the test, I'll just quickly mention what I did on the test. So the test was using cool. And we're looking at the GitHub version now, but it's the same code. And test tool definition. And and what it's doing is it's, hopefully it's using the call function. Add a dot call. Then you pass in the args. And the args are 2 and 5 each 7, 2. So you've got a vec of args, and then you iterate over them, taking out the args and the expected and comparing them with the assert equals. So that's it's nice. There are others, like Jeremy Jones, for instance, the Gen AI, Dev AI. I forget. I think it's Gen AI, isn't it? So keep an open mind and just try some. So I'll be back soon with something a bit more, probably a longer video, and I'll actually edit, fix, break, test stuff. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up. See you soon.